I'm skipping the intro, bro. I'm skipping the intro. You know why I'm skipping the intro? Because the Birds got it done. I'm getting straight into it today. The Birds got it done. Bro, I honestly, bro, I still can't believe it. I mean, I believe it, but at the same time, I don't. You know how, like, when you're so happy, like, it feels like life isn't even real? Like, I'm so happy right now, bro. Like, it doesn't even feel real. Like, I know it's real because there was only one way this was going to go. But at the same time, bro, I can't even, bro. Talking about a grown man almost cried yesterday watching this game. A grown man, 23 years old. Tears formed in my eyes. Bro, this is like, as an Eagles fan, bro, watching the Eagles just utterly stomp on the Chiefs like they owed us money. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, if you're not an Eagles fan, I don't think you understand how satisfying this feeling is after what we went through for over this past year and a half. We lose to the Chiefs in the most devastating fashion, allowing really a game that was decided by a bogus pass interference call on a throw on a ball that wasn't catchable. Like, bro, Patrick Mahomes floated the ball to the back corner of the end zone to Juju Smith-Schuster, no less. Not a catchable ball in regards to the throw or who he was throwing to. Decides the game. Chiefs get a 1st and goal, kick the game-sealing field goal. Chiefs are Super Bowl champions. An Eagles team that had really battled it out and should have beat the Chiefs in 2022. Our quarterback outplaying their quarterback shot for shot. Like, to lose in the most devastating way. Not even just that they just plainly outbeat us. They just got the call. Like, they didn't even outbeat us. They just got the call. Then you follow that devastating loss with one of the worst collapses in NFL history, in large part due to the coaching. I know people blame Hurts. They blame, all these other things. The coaching was the biggest reason for that collapse. Brian Johnson not knowing how to run an offense. Freaking Sean Desai not knowing how to orchestrate a defense, having the worst defense in the NFL, the most predictable offense in the NFL. Nick Sirianni kind of just being stuck holding the bag and not really knowing what exactly to do. Like, the worst collapse. I mean, 6 straight losses to end the season. End up losing to freaking Baker Mayfield in the wild card round. Like, just an overall tough year. Got so bad to where people thought Jalen Hurts was a scrub. They thought he wasn't even a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Went from being a top 5 quarterback the year we went to the Super Bowl, his MVP year, to then being looked at as a guy who is really a scratch off the top 10 list, really fighting for a top 15 spot, if that, in some people's eyes. Like, Eagles fans having to hear the nonsense about Jalen Hurts, the nonsense about A.J. Brown, the nonsense about the defense, like just all the nonsense. Granted, our defense was trash, our coaching staff was trash, but Howie Roseman went to work. He went to work, brings in Saquon Barkley for a huge bag. Nobody thought the Eagles would have done that. Huge bag. He drafted Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean in the same draft. Drafted Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith the year before, Jordan Davis the year before. These guys had time to cook and develop in the oven. I mean, coming off one of the worst seasons ever, finishing it with one of the most dominant seasons ever. I mean, the Eagles just had so much on the line this year, bro. So much on the line this year. Fighting for redemption on all sides. I mean, Jalen Hurts he really wasn't trying to prove anything, but we as Eagles fans, knowing what he's capable of truly, just rooting for him to be able to prove the doubters wrong. But Jalen Hurts achieving redemption this year, proving himself as a top 5, one of the best QBs in the NFL. Saquon Barkley, after really just being thrown away like he was garbage by the Giants, showing that he is a Super Bowl caliber, MVP caliber player, best running back in the NFL. AJ Brown had a tough year because of the unbalanced scheme we ran for most of the year, but really showing he's a top 3 receiver in the NFL when he gets the ball. I mean, the defense was the worst defense in the league last year, but with the addition of guys like Zach Bond, drafting Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, I mean, Nolan Smith and Milton Williams growing into more prominent roles on the defense, Jalen Carter developing more, Jordan Davis developing more, Nakobe Dean, while he was healthy, taking a huge step forward this season, being him and Zach Bond being one of the, if not the best linebacking duo core in the NFL. Nick Sirianni, I mean, even Nick Sirianni was heavily judged last season, this offseason, during this season. I'm not gonna lie, I was part of it. I'm still not convinced that Nick Sirianni is the best coach, but I can at least say that he may be the best coach for us. So Nick Sirianni, who was in the hot seat for a while, especially after last season, good part of this season, showing that he does bring some value to the squad. He may not be the best strategist, but if you have a guy who the team can respond to, you at least bring something to the table. So Nick Sirianni getting redemption. I mean, I'm Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio, a guy who really people had written off prior to this season, came in and orchestrated the best defense in the NFL. Defensive Player of the Year candidate, 2 Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates, the best defense against the pass, the best run stop defense. I mean, bro, dude didn't blitz Patrick Mahomes one time in that game. We still had 6 sacks. Didn't send out one blitzer. Had made Patrick Mahomes finish the first half with a 1% QBR. I mean, Vic Fangio, bro. I mean, everybody in the Eagles locker room had something on the line this year. Everybody. To see it come together, bro, it's emotional, bro. It's really emotional. It's really emotional. For the city, people thought, oh yeah, the Eagles are done. The 2022 was a fluke. Jalen Hurts' MVP season was a fluke. Well, what's up now, baby? What's up now? It ain't a fluke. Jalen Hurts is the only, bro. Jalen Hurts breaking the curse. Only quarterback to date after losing his Super Bowl debut to make it back to the Super Bowl. Not just make it back, but to win. Not just win, but be the Super Bowl MVP. Bro, honestly, you couldn't have written a better ending to this season, bro. You couldn't have written a better ending to the season. And honestly, I mean, there's so much to cover. I gotta just breaking this down, right? Looking at Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna start on Jalen. Jalen Hurts, if he did anything in this Super Bowl, I mean, look at this guy's story. This man has really been doubted since before the draft. Like, bro, coming off of a heroic game in Alabama, still doesn't get the belief from fans that he is the guy. Transfers to Oklahoma. People doubt that he can be the guy in Oklahoma. Man finishes the season as a Heisman finalist. Takes Oklahoma to the playoffs. Gets drafted. People who watch the game don't know if he is the quarterback of the future for the Eagles. Comes in his first year starting, drags the Eagles to the playoffs with nothing but Miles Sanders, Jalen Reagor, guys who ain't doing nothing right now. Second year starting, goes to the Super Bowl, MVP, runner-up to Patrick Mahomes, the guy who he outplayed in the Super Bowl, has a tough year after just a difficult year staff-wise, difficult year defensive-wise. He comes back the next year. He doesn't put up flashy numbers, but he's winning games left and right. Just went on a straight win streak, 10 games in a row since the bye week. Now a Super Bowl champion. Jalen Hurts is the one quarterback in the NFL who has outplayed Patrick Mahomes twice. Outplayed him twice in the postseason. Outplayed in what were the biggest games of the year, the Super Bowl, biggest stages. Outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2022. He would have won the game. Jalen Hurts could have won that game if it wasn't for the refs. Then he outplays them again this year and gets the dub. Super Bowl MVP. Bro, Jalen Hurts, if you watch the Super Bowl in this game, Jalen Hurts proved that he is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL and not 3. Top 3 and not 3. I said this before the game. I said if Jalen Hurts goes out there, outplays Patrick Mahomes, wins the game, and gets Super Bowl MVP, there is no logical reason that there's no argument that you could have for him not being top 3. Top 3 and not 3. Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the NFL. I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar. But you throw whoever else you want in there. There is no way you can take those other 3 guys over Jalen Hurts. Like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they have never done, in more years starting, they have never done what Jalen Hurts has accomplished this year. They haven't been able to do it. These are guys that'll throw for over 4,000 yards in the regular season, 30-plus touchdowns. But they still haven't been able to do what Jalen Hurts did this year. In 3 years starting, Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl twice. Joe Burrow has been once, but other than that, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen haven't sniffed the Super Bowl. Haven't sniffed it. Now, Josh Allen has played well in the postseason, at least better than Lamar Jackson. But he couldn't get it done against Mahomes. Lamar Jackson certainly couldn't get it done against Mahomes. Joe Burrow has outplayed Mahomes. He's beat Mahomes in the playoffs. But he don't got a ring. He don't got a ring, baby. He don't got a ring. Jalen Hurts is the only one. Jalen Hurts is the best winner in the NFL other than Patrick Mahomes. But even in regards to those 4 guys, Mahomes included, Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts is probably the most clutch. Jalen Hurts is the most clutch quarterback right now out of all 4 of those guys. Because no. Because before you were saying that, oh, Jalen Hurts, he turns the ball over, which is not true. He doesn't have flashy numbers. He doesn't pass the eye test, doesn't have as much talent as the other guys. But he gets it done when it matters most. Lamar Jackson couldn't do that. Lamar Jackson played like a deer in headlights the last time he played the Chiefs. He fumbled the bag against the Bills, 2 turnovers in the first half. Had a what could have been a game-winning drive to end the game, but still had 2 turnovers before that. He wouldn't have been in that position in the first place if he didn't turn the ball over 2 times in the first half. Josh Allen, he crapped the bed against the Chiefs this year. He folded this year, couldn't get it done. Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow has won, but he hasn't played better than Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is a great player in the postseason. You can say what you want about his stats in the regular season, whatever. He wins. Whatever his stats are in the regular season, he wins games. But in the playoffs, you can't tell me that any one of those 3 are better than Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. And then looking at Mahomes, all his guys were healthy. He couldn't get it done. Travis was out there. He had D-Hop out there. He had Xavier Worthy out there. His O-line was healthy. His defense was healthy aside from Chris Jones. Like, Patrick Mahomes could have get it done. Now, if that was Jalen Hurts, people would be saying, oh, you know what? If Jalen Hurts was really a top 5 quarterback, he would have been able to pull that off. If Jalen Hurts was a top 5 quarterback, he would get it done. Y'all better keep that same energy with Mahomes. Jalen Hurts got it done today. Or not today. He got it done on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes couldn't get it done. I'm applying that same energy. Patrick Mahomes had all the tools he needed to win that game. Scoreless in the first half. A 1% QBR in the first half. The Chiefs had a historically bad first half. One of the least productive offenses since 1990 in terms of Super Bowls. Couldn't get it done. Now our defense was wrecking havoc, but Patrick Mahomes is that man. Patrick Mahomes is the semi GOAT, right? He's a semi GOAT, right? He should have been able. I thought what made Patrick Mahomes elite. I thought what made Josh Allen elite. I thought what made Lamar Jackson elite. I thought what made those guys elite was that they were able to overcome the circumstances. I thought what made those guys elite, according to what I've heard y'all say, was that they're elite because it doesn't matter what's going wrong around them, they can make it work. At least that's what I was told. That's what I heard y'all say. So if Mahomes is so clutch, what happened on Sunday? What happened on Sunday? If Lamar Jackson is so clutch, what happened against the Bills? If Josh Allen is so clutch, what happened against the Chiefs? Jalen Hurts played these same defenses. Every time Jalen Hurts has been lined up against these defenses, he's got it done while outplaying the opposite QB. Last time the Eagles played the Ravens, Jalen Hurts got the dub and outplayed Lamar. Last time Eagles played the Bills, Jalen Hurts got the dub and outplayed Josh. The last time the Eagles played the Bengals, Jalen Hurts outplayed Joe Burrow and got the dub. Last time Jalen Hurts played the Chiefs, the Eagles played the Chiefs, Jalen Hurts outplayed Mahomes and got the dub. Outplayed Mahomes twice. So if you're asking me, what did Jalen Hurts prove in this game, in the Super Bowl? He proved that he is a top 3 quarterback and not 3. Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the NFL, and he's arguably the most clutch quarterback in the NFL because all he does is win. All that man does is win. I don't care what the stats are in the regular season. Even during the worst season, one of the worst seasons the Eagles have had over the past decade to 7 years, Jalen Hurts was still a top 10 passer. Jalen Hurts this year accounted for 33 touchdowns, 33 or 35 touchdowns with only 5 interceptions. That's who Jalen Hurts is. He's a dog. He's a dog. He's a winner. I don't care about the MVPs. Lamar Jackson, cool. He's cool being a 2-time MVP. Josh Allen, he's cool being an MVP. Joe Burrow's cool leading the league in passing yards. Jalen Hurts gets hardware. Jalen Hurts brings the trophy home. He brings the Lombardi home. He's getting the Eagles to the bowl. That's what matters. So if you're asking me what Jalen Hurts proved in this game against the Chiefs, it proves that he's him. He is elite. He is elite. Like, if you think Jalen Hurts is not elite, you don't know ball. If you truly think Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback in the NFL, what are you watching? Like what are you watching? I mean, it's just it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. But Jalen Hurts put everybody on notice this year. The Eagles put everybody on notice this year. The Eagles, bro, the Eagles' new nickname should be the Dynasty Killers. This isn't the first dynasty the Eagles have destroyed. 2017, the Eagles beat out prime Brady, prime Gronk, prime Bill on the Patriots, a prime Patriots Super Bowl team. Beat him out. This ain't the first dynasty we done killed. Prevented history. The Eagles are the dynasty killers of the NFL. But what helps that is the defense. Let's talk defense for a minute. The Eagles defense honestly strung together one of the best overall performances in Super Bowl history. 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, forced the Chiefs to punt 6 times. They forced a shutout in the first half. I mean, without blitzing a single soul. Vic Fangio, he deserves an honorable mention or something for this award. I mean, talk about everybody on the defense was a hero. Everybody. It started with the D-line. Honestly, the front four for that D-line, Josh Sweat, who played amazing. Josh Sweat, who I really thought was going to be Super Bowl MVP. Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. Patrick Mahomes had a tough day. Patrick Mahomes, he couldn't get comfortable at all. And that was just based off of them running stunts up front. No blitzes, just maneuvering up front. Twist and ton stunts. Like, the Eagles D-line, honestly, that front four could have split Super Bowl MVP. Like, if it wasn't Jalen was still deserving of Super Bowl MVP. But that Eagles front four for the Birds could have split the Super Bowl MVP award up in the 4 pieces. Each one taking a quarter. That's how dominant this Eagles front four was. And it starts with Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat, after having a quiet regular season, had a Super Bowl performance. I mean, which is really interesting to see, considering he's approaching free agency this year. Really puts pressure on Howie Roseman to bring Josh Sweat and Milton Williams back, who's also a free agent. Honestly, right now, I would be more focused if I'm Howie Roseman. I would be more focused on re-signing Josh Sweat and Milton Williams than I would be trading for Myles Garrett. Because right now, this Eagles defense is the most complete defense in the NFL. This is honestly this is a better defensive unit than what we had in 2022. The year the Eagles put up historic sack numbers in the regular season. One of the leading in all-time sacks in the NFL. That defense was not nearly as good as this defense. If you're looking at those two defenses, that defense was really the reason why they were so good was because of the D-line. If you look at it, the Eagles in 2022 against the pass, when the D-line wasn't getting pressure on the QB, was one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL. Our secondary wasn't nearly as talented as it is now, as it was this year. Our D-line wasn't historic this year like in 2022, but even with that, still one of the best D-lines in the league, and they showed why in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl especially. I mean, Josh Sweat, 2.5 sacks, had a pressure that led to an interception. Milton Williams, 2 sacks. Jalen Carter. I mean, you couldn't keep these dudes out of the backfield. Like, this was honestly the better defense because our secondary is way better. You look at Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean as big reasons why. Darius Slay, of course, Reed Blankenship, like CJ Gardner-Johnson. Like, bro, this was a better defense than what we had in 2022. But like I said, everybody was a hero. It started up on the front four, transitioned to the linebacker core. Zach Bond, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, snubbed in my opinion. Deserved it way more than Patrick Surtain, Myles Garrett, or TJ Watt. He just had a better defensive season than all of those guys. He was the best defensive player on the best defense in the NFL. Zach Bond didn't get Defensive Player of the Year because of name bias. That's the only reason why. Because of name bias. I need some water, bro. Name bias. But what does he do in the Super Bowl? Gets a pick. Gets a nail in the coffin pick, putting the Eagles towards the opposite, putting the Eagles in their own red zone, in the Chiefs' red zone, putting the offense in a position to score before the half. Shout out Josh Sweat for the pressure. But Zach Bond doing what true Defensive Player of the Year guys do, which is make big time plays and big time moments. Gets a pick. Then the linebacker play transitions to the secondary. Cooper freaking DeJean. Pick 6 on his birthday. His first career interception is a pick 6 in the Super Bowl on his birthday. If that's not legendary, I don't know what is. Was the Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. Pick 6 in the Super Bowl. While returning punts. Quinion Mitchell, just like I said before the game, no touchdowns allowed. Didn't get a pick. Coop got the pick, but no touchdowns allowed. CJ Gardner-Johnson just being locked down. Darius Slay playing great defense. Like, this was a blanket secondary. It was a blanket secondary. The linebackers played their jobs well, filling the gaps. And then the D-line just wrecking havoc up front. So Patrick Mahomes, he not only didn't have time to throw the ball, he also didn't have anyone to throw to because Travis Kelce was smothered. Travis Kelce, he served a 25 to life in that Super Bowl the way he was locked up. He was smothered. He had no room to make any plays. Did you see the look in his eyes? Just pure devastation. I mean, the look of devastation in a man's eyes has never satisfied me more. Has never warmed me up to the core. Never genuinely made me smile. I mean, this. I mean, this was just such a complete performance. I mean, and again, I gotta tip my hat off to Vic Fangio again. I am so glad the Eagles are keeping Vic Fangio. I'm so glad. Like, Kellen Moore can do whatever he wants. He can skedaddle. Kellen Moore can skedaddle. We got Vic Fangio. We good. It's not going to be hard to find an offensive coordinator who can match what Kellen Moore did for the Eagles this year. Kellen Moore ran a super basic offense this year. He underperformed with the talent that the Eagles offense had. He did get better as the season progressed, especially getting to the Super Bowl, progressing through the playoffs. But it's not going to be hard to find someone else that can do that. Someone else can easily replicate what he did, if not do it better. Kellen Moore can skedaddle. What we can't replace is a guy like Vic Fangio. That's a true artist. I mean, just true artistry. Not even having, I've never seen that before. Not even having to blitz. Not even having to blitz. I mean, I'm just so happy, bro. Eagles are up, bro. Eagles are up. I mean, man. Eagles are up, bro. This is our, bro. We partying all off season like it's 2017. All off season. It's Eagle season. This is honestly the only thing that'll make this Sixers season tolerable. I don't even care what the Sixers do this year. Eagles won the bowl. Eagles won the bowl. I'm out. That's all we got for today's edition of No Shame with Shane. If you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. And I will be back later on with more shameless takes. Go Birds!